fantastic second half performance from Jamaica there, Romeo. I mean, you take overwhelming positive from that, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. The second half, I imagine, is how we want to play for 80 minutes. I thought the commitment and the effort from the boys were there right throughout. I think in that first 40, we didn't have much possession, and I think, playing at this level for the first time. I mean, it's 17 full-time players we're playing against. This is the first for us, and I think that that contributed to the slow start. But I was really pleased with how we came out in the second half. Lots of energy, lots of willingness, lots of effort, and we were winning the second half until that last 5 minutes when the Knights scored again. So I'm very happy about the performance overall.
Biggest occasion Jamaica have ever played in as well. Biggest crowd, probably the best stadium. How much of an importance is all of that for the development to get you to the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, one of the best facilities we've played in. This is a rugby league facility. The crowd was wonderful. It was 7,000. We did 7,000 before, I think, in Toronto. So, the occasion was really special. I think for the majority of the squad, this current squad, and it's the biggest squad they've played before, I think that inspired them. A lot of the crowd were Jamaican or West Indian, and I think that that was a big inspiration for the boys. I think this is a really good build-up going into next year and then into 2021. I think it just shows what we need to do. It kind of recreates the atmosphere. I would imagine that in the actual World Cup, if we're getting crowds of maybe 7,000 to 15,000 for the group games, I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, it's a really good rehearsal. That's what this was all about. Just giving the boys an opportunity 2 years out to realize where we are and what we need to do to go into 2021 and hopefully be very competitive and win a few games.
The two guys that came over from Kingston, what do you think they'll be taking back and the word that they'll be spreading?
I think what they'll take back from the game, it's just the level that you have to step up to if you want to really be competitive at international football at this level. I mean, we play against the USA and Canada on a regular basis. The speed of the game is obviously much different. So I think they would have learned from that. Kamisi, he started at prop today. He did a 15-minute stint, and I was really happy with how he held up. I thought he came out okay. I was a bit worried for him, but he really put some big effort in. Defensively, he really did his best. I thought he did well. Our winger, Jenson Morris, went in for the last 10 minutes. He was a bag of nerves. He's been nervous all week, and cold as well. I heard he was asking for coffee at halftime. So that's another story to tell. But he went on the last 10 minutes, and I was pleased with what he did. I mean, he was a bit nervous. Defensive awareness at times wasn't perhaps where I would have wanted it to be. But he had a good carry. Showed a little bit of a speed that we call him gas. That's why we call him gas. So I think that you can't get experience unless you get experience, and this is what it was about. I've said that as an organization, what we do is we have to change what we do in order to improve. So years ago, the only time the heritage players would come together with the domestic players is when it's a World Cup qualifier. So that was every 3 years. That was not working out. In 2015, after we failed, I sat down with Roy Calvert and said we need to do something different, and this is what I think would work. Get our UK-based players together every year. It will build chemistry, and it will also build momentum in terms of the brand, the Reggae Warriors brand. It has done that. Beat in Ireland, drew with Wales, went to France and played, and then we qualified for the World Cup. Now we have entered into a different stage where we want the domestic players to also now play each year with the pro guys, because it's the only way that they can improve. Because our situation, I think it's a bit unique well, not unique, but in the rugby league international world. We're one of the few nations where we're looking to give our domestic players an equal chance, just like our heritage players. I mean, we're realistic. We know that we can't throw 10 guys in there to play against pros, but certainly for us, we have to get at least 2 in each of these games, because the game is on the island, and we want to inspire people on the island as well as overseas. But we want the kids playing in Kingston and St. Catherine to look on their television and see someone they know and can identify with. And this was big for us. So I'm pleased with that, and I'm pleased with the outcome. I think the domestic players will look at this game and they'll think, man, I need to really step up, because if I want to be one of those 2 or 3 players to play at this level, then my fitness needs to go up, my skills needs to go up, and that's what I'm hoping will be the inspiration from this. Because come World Cup 2021, there will be domestic players in our team, and there will be domestic players starting the games. That's a commitment that we have to our members, and I think this is the beginning of that. And as I said, I'm really pleased with how they held up.
Would you say this is the best position Jamaica have been in since you've been involved? When you look at people like Jason Robinson and all the other guys who jumped on board and are behind you.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the issues that we've had on the island. When we started, because the game started here with a West Indies team back in I think 2003, and when we were courted to start rugby league there, we were all rugby union people, and one of the push points for us was that we expected to get a certain level of support from the West Indies community, but we didn't really realize that rugby league wasn't as big amongst the West Indians, as perhaps we originally thought. So over the years, we have really had no backing in terms of tangible backing. So the well wishes have always been there, the conversations have been there, but in terms of actual real hardcore action being taken, funding being put in place, actual support, it wasn't really coming. And since Alex and Jason got involved, I must say that this is the first time that has happened, and this is the result. The players came to camp for a week. They had tons of kit for the first time, courtesy of JR Sports and a Coco Fusion, and I mean, it was just a different atmosphere for the first time. Through Jason and Alex as well, the sponsorship that they raised, we were able to really allow the players to just focus on playing this week. They didn't have to go into their pockets to play in the game. We went to the World Cup qualifiers, they each spent at least £400 of their own money on airfare to go, and they've been doing it for years. So for the first time, and even though the game is in England and they live here, but I thought that the players could just come in and focus on playing. And in a performance environment, that's really what you need. And we're just entering this space, and I'm hoping that through the continued support of Jason and Alex, I'm really hoping that we can continue with that. Where we have stepped up again is in our coaching department, because we have Jermaine Coleman as the lead coach here in the UK, but now he's been joined by Chev Walker, who is also of Jamaican heritage. And right throughout the camp this week, you could see the strengthening of the coaching of the coaching department with that. So I think that we have a good team in place on and off the field, and I think that once we continue to work hard and believe in what we're doing, I think that the project will continue to surprise people and be a success.
You've got Michael Lawrence in for today, and Jordan Turner's put his hand up. You hope to get more experienced Super League players on board by 2021?
Yeah, definitely. Our doors are always open. We understand professional sport, and we understand that players who are full-time athletes, when the time is right and the conditions is right, that's when you really will perhaps get the full support. I think that's beginning to happen. This year, a couple of guys came back on board. We have Greg Johnson as well, who came back on board this year. And I think that going into next year in 2021, there will be other players who, will get their eligibility sorted out. And I think the team definitely will be strengthened. You saw it today on the field, the difference that our Super League players made. The fitness level is just different, the skills, the game knowledge. And if we're going to crack the top 10, if we're going to go to the World Cup and win, a couple of games, we need more players like that. And if there's any Jamaican heritage player in the NRL, give me a shout. We definitely want to strengthen the squad, because personally I'm an internationalist. It's the only reason I've been doing this back in Jamaica. I believe that rugby league is too good a game not to be known worldwide and not to be a mainstream international sport. And I think that Jamaica as a brand is one of the biggest cultural brands in the world. So to associate that with rugby league, that's massive for me. And so I definitely want to see our team being the strongest it can be. I want to be a tier 1 country. Persons may laugh, but at the end of the day, persons laugh when we started the project. Persons laugh when we said we'd be in a World Cup. And persons said not in your lifetime. But it has happened. And who knows what will happen in the actual cup. If we get to the quarterfinals, that will be massive. And I think there are enough inspiration stories for us to be hopeful. We saw Lebanon the last World Cup. We saw the USA in 2013. Not to mention what Tonga has done. Albeit different demographics with the number of NRL players they have. But basically, we're inspired, and we believe that we can be an inspiration as well to the game. And that's just what we're trying to do. Just trying to bring a different flavor to rugby league. When's the last time you saw steel pans in Leeds, in Headingley? That was just incredible for me. And that's the atmosphere. That's what we want to add to the game. I think we definitely have something to add to the game. Not only here in the UK, where there are over 800,000 Jamaicans, plus a wide West Indian population, heritage population. But globally. This game is going to bring in more traction. Jamaicans in America, Canada, they'll hear about the game. And so the more people that know about rugby league, the better it is for us as a sport.
Do you know what fixtures you've got planned for next year in the lead up to the World Cup, or is that all still to be worked out?
Yeah, still to be worked out. We know what we want to do. Since 2015, after the qualifiers, the strategy that I put in place was 2 games in Europe, 2 games in the Americas. That's what we want. That keeps both sides active and coming together. So next year I'm definitely hoping for 2 fixtures here. I hear Australia is coming on tour here next year. Is that true? So Aussie, who knows? Maybe Jamaica, Australia, Jamaica, England as a warm-up game. Who knows? We dream big, at the end of the day. And as I said, in order for the sport to become, a mainstream sport, this is the kind of stuff that we need. We really need to believe in our product, because it's a great product. And so I believe that anything is possible. Games against either Wales, Ireland, Scotland, again, France, 2 matches from that pool of 6 or 7 countries, I think, here will be important for us. So we definitely will be going into some negotiations to see if we can get those 2 games. What we are sure about is that in the Americas, we're going to have the Americas Championship, Jamaica, Canada, Chile, USA, and it should be in Jamaica, right, in November. So that'll be massive as well. I want to get some of these boys across, and if I get 4 games next year, I'm happy the year before the World Cup.